You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about Tom Brady because he has come out and, kind of funny enough, I just did that video yesterday on Caleb Williams, and what came across as a very selfish, entitled interview he had with Ryan Clark and his view of the fact that, frankly, he thought he should just have been handed the Oklahoma football starting quarterback job, even though Spencer Rattler was coming off a hell of a season for Oklahoma. It came across very bad. Ryan Clark tried to save Caleb Williams, and it just didn't work out. All right? It was like the visual illustration right in front of your face of what a lot of people have been talking about with Caleb Williams. Well, a couple of things have happened. Number one, of course, Tom Brady, the comeback. Is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Mike Florio was on with Dan Patrick, and he made some words about the potential comeback. Before we get into that, though, Tom Brady has come out and said some things himself. And he is not a big fan of the selfish generation of young athletes. And you got to wonder, is this part of the reason he walked away? Because he was getting to the point where he was like, we all know Tommy Boy is team. Whatever you got to do, you all pull together one unit. We watched that happen for years with the New England Patriots and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's clear he feels like today's athlete, they're about themselves and their brand. Again, who does that remind you of that's about to come out in the NFL draft? Tom Brady wants football to be about, quote, we and not me. Brady appeared on the Deep Cuts Vic Blends podcast earlier this month, and highlight clips are still coming out. The 7-time Super Bowl quarterback provided an illustration of the generational gap as compared with players who have come up with smartphones and social media. Quote, I think the biggest problem with a lot of these effing kids these days, it's all about them, Brady said. Their brand, their social media, when it's about, quote, me, and then not about us, well, there's no way to succeed as a team if all you're doing is thinking how selfish it is for you to get the attention. And let's take an example. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is not out there giving interviews where he sounds entitled. He hasn't done things on the field or to his team. I mean, I hate it for him that he's got to deal with Jackson Mahomes, his brother, but that's not on Patrick Mahomes, and he is always team-oriented when he's talking. That's not how Caleb Williams sounds. That's not how a lot of these athletes sound when they talk about playing in the NFL. Clearly, Tom Brady's noticed it. The barber responded, it's cool to show the world how great you are, but the most inspiring thing is how great you make others. Brady agreed, that's the point of life, he added, is what we could do. How do we help other people finish the race? And, of course, elsewhere in the podcast, this is the same podcast where he said, I'm not opposed to a comeback. And much like Florio, I believe Tom Brady was sending a message for one reason and one reason only. Last year, Tom Brady was very open and animated about the fact that this is it. I'm done. There's no cracks. The door is not open. It's slammed shut. I'm not coming back. Well, we know he kicked the door open about 10 days ago. Okay, I played the video. I made a video. And I believe it was very calculated. He was sending signals out there to NFL teams. If they think they might need a quarterback, come get me. Now, I know there's a lot of fire around Sean Payton and the Broncos. I get that because they were going to hook up in Miami. Here's the one fly in the ointment here with the Broncos. Do I necessarily believe that Tom Brady is going to come back to a rival of the Las Vegas Raiders, who he's eventually going to have minority ownership in. If you're going to come back, I still continue to say, offensively especially, the Raiders are the team to come back to. So I think that's why the Broncos thing doesn't carry as much weight with me, even though Sean Payton makes sense. And we know, something I've talked about, Brady was going to come back and play for the Raiders. All right, that was his next team after the Buccaneers. Then he did a hard pivot, and he decided to retire. Nobody knows exactly why. Maybe that'll be a story. Florio.
Shows up early, stays late, is basically an extension of management. If he doesn't want to be there, that's a problem.
What happens first? Tom Brady broadcasts a game or he plays in a game?
You know, I think there are no accidents when it comes to Tom Brady, Dan. And for him to come out and say, after declaring last year, he's done and he's never coming back, he just kind of casually drops the turd in the punch bowl of, hey, what if somebody gets injured during the season? Oh, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Wait, what? I wouldn't be opposed to coming back and playing. Are you kidding me? That was huge. And again, I don't think it was something that just flew out of his mouth. I think he's ready to come back. And I think that was his trial balloon to see if anyone will call him. Just a couple of weeks before the draft, plenty of teams looking for quarterbacks. What if Sean Payton doesn't get the guy he wants? It was Payton and Brady 2 years ago that were tied together to go to Miami. The Dolphins lost a first-round pick over it because they were tampering with both guys. So I think Brady wants to come back, but he wants to be pursued. And he's put it out there that he wants to be pursued. So I think there's a chance that he never gets in the booth at all, at least not this year. And wouldn't it?
Yeah, and I'm going to stop it there, but he thinks there's a chance he never ends up in the Fox booth, which is certainly something we've talked about before too, that he might not end up. And I still key in on one phrase. He referenced Michael Jordan in the other 2 years that he played. And I thought, would he come back and play 2 full seasons? Would he come back and play 2 full seasons for the Raiders, for the Patriots? As the Patriots are constructed right now, that doesn't work out. However, there's a lot of fire around A.J. Brown to the Patriots, a lot of fire. Now, somebody suggested the other day, well, if the Patriots draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and trade for A.J. Brown, you got Hunter Henry, Ramondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson, that team looks completely offensively different than what you've got right now. Pop Douglas, maybe. And the Raiders, forget about it. They got weapons everywhere. Everywhere. Michael Mayer, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers. Well, that's a hell of a fit. I love Antonio Brown. Antonio Pearson. That defense is going to be really good. God, Antonio Brown. That dude is crushing people on X right now. Anyway, been a long day, folks. So tell me what you think. Is Tom Brady coming back? A lot of people believe it's nonsense. Look, Tom Brady doesn't do anything by accident. That was him kicking the door open and wanting some phone calls to come in to his agent or to him. He's at least snooping around. Let's put it that way. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.